Hey everybody! Today Rahdo runs through his top 10 simultaneous action selection games, which is a bit of a mouthful, but here's what it is. These are games where you and I are going to make decisions about what we want to do in the game at the same time, in secret. And then we will both reveal what our plans are, and we will cross our fingers and hope that we have properly anticipated what the other player is going to do, so that if you're zigging, I'm zagging. Or if you're zigging and I wanted to zig, I better zig harder to get to it first. Love, love, love this gameplay mechanism. It's so great for a number of reasons, probably most importantly because, well, my wife and I, we tend to enjoy Euros, which are a bit on the drier side. They're a bit more thinky, a bit more analytical, maybe a bit more slow and crusty. There's not necessarily a lot of drive and drama and passion and excitement in these games. But it's not like we don't particularly enjoy these things. It's just we like really clever, analytical, puzzly style games. What Simultaneous Action Collection can add to this is an extra jolt of drama and tension and excitement, because every round or every turn or whatever the metric is for the game, we all will decide and secretly reveal while biting our knuckles, oh please, please, please let me have made the right choice, yes! Or no, I can't believe I did that. It's a blast, and it really just elevates the overall experience. And like I said, just adds drama and excitement. In the same way that for some people, roll to resolve, rolling dice and, oh come on, I need a 6, I need a double 6, I need a 20, roll, oh no, or oh yes. For a lot of people, that's an incredibly cool and exciting and dramatic moment. For me and Jen, it's not that often, because it's not like what happens, it's not like we're controlling the die and deciding what happens. We've already made all our decisions, and now we just wait and see. In a simultaneous action selection, the reveal is not random fate, it is our decisions. And so it's much more personal, and it's much more a reflection of us and our choices. And so that's why we love it. Another really great thing about a simultaneous action selection, of course, is it can make the game go quite a bit quicker, because everybody's thinking at the same time, everybody's revealing at the same time too. And it can really just up the tempo of the game. So they're great, great, great. Love them. I'm going to tell you my 10 favorites. Although the order of this list is not necessarily from my least favorite to my most favorite game in this category. Instead, it is a countdown from least to most of how impactful and how meaningful the simultaneous action selection is, or how much we love that particular mechanism's implementation. So bear that in mind, and without further ado, let's get going with our number 10, K2, which is a brilliant, brilliant gateway game all about climbing and summoning K2 Mountain. But here's the brilliant thing about this game. It's a card-driven game, like a lot of the games I'm about to talk about, and everybody has their hand of cards at the beginning of a round, and everybody is going to select in secret and then reveal what they want to do. Now, the interesting thing about the simultaneous selection here is I've got a hand of 6 cards, and I'm going to pick 3 of them and reveal all of them at the same time you are. And these cards are all variations of let us move or let us rest, because resting is a big, big deal in this game, because you could freeze to death on this mountain. I mean, you could literally die. It's possible to have player elimination if both of your climb teams die up there. So it's very, very important to be smart and anticipate, be bold and adventurous and push forward, because it is a race to get up as high as you can before time runs out. But it is also a game of risk-taking and knowing when not to take risks, because cold weather can come in and totally freeze you out. Now, the reason this came in at number 10 is because the simultaneous action selection is brilliant, but for a good half of the game, it doesn't matter. When we first start out the game, where everybody's down at the bottom of the mountains, it's nice and warm and balmy, or relatively speaking, and there's not really much chance of you accidentally being in the wrong place at the wrong time such that it would mess up my plan. So it doesn't really matter. We could almost just play this game normally. Oh, I'll take a turn, you'll take a turn, I'll take a turn, you'll take a turn. But what happens is, as we get higher and higher and higher, the space gets tighter. Fewer and fewer teams can be in a given zone. At the very, very top, only 1 team per space is allowed to be in there. And so what'll happen is the tension in this game ratchets and climbs as we climb. Because when we're at the top, and you and I are both, okay, we're both almost at the top, we're thinking, am I going to make my run now? Are you going to make your run? What cards do you have in your hand? What are you going to play? Because here's the thing. If I miscalculate and you end up occupying a space I needed to get to, because that was my plan and I revealed, here's how I'm going to do it, and then you reveal what you're going to do, and it turns out you're going to end up in that space instead of me, like I said right up front, I could literally freeze to death. And that is terrifying. This is a white knuckle game, as it should be. And a big reason for that is because of the simultaneous action selection. Now, it's interesting. This game's been out of print forever. It's a brilliant gateway. I would have put this on my top 10 gateway games and my top 10 update gateway games run-throughs I did, top 10s a while ago. But it's been out of print. I just heard the other day it's finally coming back into print in 2018. Finally, it's been gone for years. So this is a brilliant, brilliant game. Love it. I've used this as a gateway in a lot of circumstances. And Jen, I just love it as a two-player game. It's absolutely lovely. Some great simultaneous action selection in K2. But now let's move on to number 9, Johari, which is a game where players are gem merchants in the Johari gem market. And it's a bunch of set collection, trying to have majorities in rubies and sapphires and diamonds, and trying to avoid counterfeit goods unless you think you can get away with it, in which case, yeah, take those counterfeit goods and you'll really up your profit margins unless you get caught. It's a neat, clever game, and the crux of this game is every game day, it takes place in 3 rounds. There's morning, noon, and evening. And like I said, this is a set collection. We are both trying to have the majority of sapphires, let's say, and there's some really nice sapphires out there. And we both have access to the same hand of cards. These are cards that let us grab the resources we want, or get more resources, or curry favor with nobles, stuff like that. But the important thing is, hey, it's morning. We're both going to play a card, and then we'll resolve it. And then at noon, we'll both play a card simultaneously and resolve it, and in the evening. And so you might say, oh, if there's a really big, fat, juicy sapphire out there that we both really want, oh, well, okay, then I guess I'm going to use my card that'll let me get that in the morning. Here's the problem. In the morning, it's very, very expensive to do anything. You burn through your cash reserves if you get up early. That early bird who catches that worm has to pay through the nose for it. So if you think that sapphire is not something I value so much, and it might wait around, you might want to wait till the afternoon or the evening, because then it'll be a lot cheaper. But that is, once again, the beauty of simultaneous action selection. You don't know what I'm going to do until I do it, and you have to make a decision at the same time. So do you risk it? Will I leave that there so you can get it later in the day when it's cheaper, or should you pay through the nose and get it now? What if we both do? How is that tie going to break out? Well, you know how it's going to break out, so that's another thing that you have to take into account. But the thing that elevates Johari, which is a brilliant resource management set collection game, and I put it over K2 in terms of simultaneous action selection, is here, every round, you get to do it 3 times. And every time feels different because of the different costs involved. It's a sharp, sharp game. Really enjoyed a lot. Hey, no surprise, it's number 9, Johari. Now let's move on to number 8, Space Race, the card game, which is a very, very cool game that basically plots mankind's race to the stars, starting in the 60s and leading all the way up to today. And this is another game where we have a handful of cards. We're both going to pick a card in secret and then reveal it at the same time and hope that if you're zigging, I'm zagging, or I'm zigging better than you. Because all the cards represent these different facets of our spacefaring organization: propaganda, technology, breakthroughs, stuff like that. And for each one of these facets, each one of these metrics, we have a level 1, a level 3, and a level 6 card. Obviously, a level 6 card is more powerful. And if both you and I see a breakthrough technology card out there that we both really want, because again, this is a card drafting game. We're both trying to grab the best cards for our space agency and get them before our opponent does, if we think our opponent wants them. So if we both see it and we both want it, and it's a technology card, well, if I want that really bad, I'll play my level 6 technology card, because that ups my chance of getting it. And then you got to decide, oh, well, do I want that really bad? Or, oh, he wants that so bad, I bet you he's going to go after that, so I can chase after these other ones over here that he probably doesn't want, and I don't have to waste my really expensive card. I'll go for a cheap card. Because here's an interesting wrinkle to this. Not all cards are created equal. All the cards, they have their kind of initiative value of how much power they give you for turn order, which is a big, big consideration. If you both want to grab that particular astronaut who came out, or that particular technological breakthrough, or that particular project, or whatever it might be. So they have their initiative value. But then on top of that, the more powerful they are, i.e. to let you go first and grab what you want, the less powerful they are in terms of secret bonuses. My level 1 card has a really, if I play that, it's not going to let me go first, but it's going to give me a really cool bonus. My level 3 card, maybe it'll let me go first if you play your level 1, and it'll give me a medium bonus. My level 6 card that really ups my chances of getting what I need first, There's no bonus on that whatsoever. So I've got to weigh those two things in terms of how bad do I want something, how bad do I anticipate you want it, and do a simultaneous action selection phase accordingly. Now, there's another interesting element to this game too. Over time, as we start drafting cards, we become more powerful in these different metrics. So halfway through the game, I might have at some point played my level 3 technology card. So because you can see, this is another beautiful thing about this game. You start out with 12 of these control cards, if I recall correctly. Everybody can see everything everybody's played, and you don't get those cards back. So you can see I played my level 3 technology card. I've still got my you can see I played my level 6. I've still got my level 1 and my level 3. But here's the thing. Over the course of the game, I've drafted other cards that have made my base technology level 5. Let's say I've got 5 base technology, and then on top of that, I've got a level 1 and a level 3. So anytime I want to make a technology move, I could be 5 plus 1 or 5 plus 3. So I could be a 6 or an 8. And now you don't have any technology, but you've still got your 6. And your 6 will beat my combined 6. But my 3, which takes me to an 8, you can't touch. A technology comes out that we both want. How are you going to judge that? How are you going to decide which card to play, knowing that I'm better at technology to begin with, but also knowing that I've got fewer options remaining? It's really sharp. And there's actually a lot of other really cool elements in the game. Like all the games I'm talking about today, you can go check out my original run-through to learn more about it. But it's an incredibly sharp, smart game, Space Race, the card game. But now, let's move on to number 6, the Institute for Magical Arts. This is another game where every round I've got a handful of cards and I'm going to deploy them in secret and then reveal them. But there's much more going on. This is at its heart an area control game set in Hogwarts. We are both professors at the Institute of Magical Arts is what it's called, and they're looking for a new headmaster. Everybody wants to be Dumbledore. And so there are a bunch of artifacts and movers and shakers, influencers that are out here that we are basically trying to exert our influence on so that we can grab these cards so they will up our case to become the new headmaster. And what happens is at the beginning of every round, we roll a bunch of dice, and depending on whether those dice say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, we will put them in front of the card that is in slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So maybe somebody really wants the card in area 4 really badly, and I rolled a couple of 4s and you rolled a 4. Now what that means is I put my 2 4s in front of that card, you put your 1 4 in front of that card. We both this round are going to be kind of vying to exert influence over that card, whether it's a person or a place or a thing, whatever it is. Now, so you might think, oh, that's it. Oh, I rolled more 4s than you. I win. After the dice have been deployed, which everybody can see exactly where they are, then we take our cards. And for each one of those dice, we deploy cards to them in secret. And those cards are going to program what the dice do. Because the dice can either allow us to deploy, we have cubes that represent influence that we can basically push onto that card. And the more influence we have, again, this is an area control. We want to have the most influence so that we can snag the card for ourselves and get a special power and all that. So we might secretly say, oh, those 2 dice I'm going to put there, I'm using those to deploy influence onto that character. Or you think I might do that. But instead, I've also got cards to say, hey, those 2 dice that I'm putting there, I'm not using them to deploy influence, I'm using it to gather influence or stones. I think they're called influence stones or something like that. But anyway, so you don't know what I want to do with those 2 dice as you're deciding what to do with your 1 die. And here's the thing. We're having to make this decision all over the board with all these different dice scattered around. I am having to figure out how, again, in secret, simultaneously, how I am going to program all of these dice that have been scattered around. You're doing the same thing, and then we reveal. So it's like, what is it? I think there's 4. I think we're doing 4 dice every round that we're programming 4 dice. So we're doing, 4 times the simultaneous action selection. It is just chock-a-block. And again, this just accentuates and enhances that tension, that excitement of what am I going to do? You've got a card there. Are you going to use that? Are you going to use that to deploy? Or are you going to use that to gather? You don't even care about that card. You don't care about that card. I don't have to worry about it. I've still got the clear majority. I can just let that go and gather over here because that's going to be more valuable for me. But what if you don't? What if you do the other thing? Ah, what to do? And now, if all that weren't enough, there's a very cool tiebreaker in this game as well. It's kind of like a little mini game that happens if there is a tie, which is basically each of us takes a card, doesn't matter what, uses as a little shield, takes a die, and then we decide what value the die is going to be and reveal at the same time. Kind of like a little duel thing. That's awesome too. This game is bonkers brilliant. It's for 2 players only from Steve Finn, the king of the filler, I call him, and it's one of his best designs ever. It's absolutely delightful. We love it a lot. Check out the run-through I did of the prototype when it was on Kickstarter to learn more. That is number 6, Institute for Magical Arts. Then let's move on to 10, 9, 8, 7. That was number 7, Institute of Magical Arts. Now on to number 6, Fresco. Oh, Jen and I love Fresco so much. And now here's the thing. So far, every game we've been talking about has been simultaneous selection and revealing of cards. They've been card games first and foremost. Well, there's a little bit of dice and maybe there's a board, but really at their heart, they're card games. Fresco is a worker placement game. And what is different about it is, unlike regular worker placement games like your Stone Ages or your Waterdeeps or your Agricolas, I'll put a worker, you'll put a worker, I'll put a worker, you'll put a worker. Instead, we in secret, behind a shield, program what we want all our workers to do. And then once we figure it out, oh, I'm going to have these workers go to the market. I'm going to have these workers work on painting. I'm going to have these workers take a night off and go to the theater. I'm going to have these workers do personal portraits. I've only got so many workers and I've only got so many places I could place them. I program what I want all of my workers, or they're my apprentices. I want all my apprentices to do. And once both of us have chosen it, we reveal with a big flourish, and then we look to see, what have you done? Oh my gosh! You didn't go to the market at all. I went crazy to the market. I didn't care about that, but I just wanted to make sure I had majority of the market so I could get what I needed first. And you didn't even go there. Oh, I so overpaid. What to do? But hey, since I overpaid, I might as well take advantage of it. There are, 5 different things that your apprentices can be doing. And so we are basically trying to determine with our little guys how much they double up in one area versus another, how much we spread them out. And again, the simultaneous reveal in this game, it's just always bonkers crazy fun. And we've played this game so many times, dozens of times as a 2-player game, but we've also played it many times with 3 and 4 players. And it's just always so much fun. Now, the rest of the game is fun too. Did I mention we're basically trying to paint not the Sistine Chapel, but something quite like that. And so we're collecting from the market paint. They're represented by different colorful cubes. And one of the actions we can do with our apprentices is mix paints to make different types of paints. And because we need those different types of paints to paint the different parts of the chapel, which are represented by tiles, which when we paint them, we take them for points. But there's also a bishop who's wandering around, and if he sees us doing work when he's nearby, we score bonus points. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff in this game. But what ties it all together is very, very cool, exciting, tense and dramatic simultaneous action selection with workers this time, and we absolutely adore it. That was our number 109876 Fresco. But now let's move on to number 5, another simultaneous worker placement game, Dungeon Petz. As good as Fresco is, Dungeon Petz is even better. Once again, we have a whole bunch of workers. There are a bunch of little imps that we in secret bundle into little packets. I might make a packet of 2 of my imps and some money, or 1 imp by himself, or 3 imps, or 5 imps with no money. And basically, I'm just sorting them, but I'm assigning them all to these different little groups in secret. And one of the brilliant things about this game is the player shield I've got is very, very cool because I can flip it up and I use that to assign all my little workers in secret, and then everybody flips it back down to reveal. Just the physical design of this game is absolutely brilliant, so sharp. But forget about that. What's amazing is, well, once again, this is a worker placement game. Now this one, once the simultaneous selection and reveal is over, I'm going to go and then you're going to go. I'm going to go, I'm going to send a worker group, you're going to send a worker group, I'm going to send a worker group, you're going to send a worker group. But the thing is, we can all see what is available out on the main board, and we're creating these groups, these shopping groups who are going to go out to the main board and get stuff and bring them back to our little establishment so we can raise the best dungeon pets possible. The thing is, why we're bundling them is because the bigger the group, the sooner it gets to go. Like those card games I was talking about earlier, this is all about initiative. And so I've got a bunch of little guys. I've got a bunch of little money. Do I just put them into really, really big groups, but I only have 2 or 3 big groups? That pretty much guarantees I'll probably get everything I need because I'll go first, but I'll only get 2 or 3 things. Or do I spread them out? Do I make 6 individual little tiny groups? That means I could get 6 things off the board. But chances are, if you made big groups and I made little groups, you'll get to resolve your groups before I get mine, and the stuff that was really important to me be gone. I'll get more stuff, but it won't be the stuff I wanted. This is how everything is resolved, round after round. How do I group them together? Because there's also restrictions too. If I want certain things, I need to have certain group configurations. Some things need money, some things don't. Some things need multiple imps grouped together, some things don't. And so there's all these different considerations I've got as I am in secret planning my shopping for the day, and you're doing the same thing, and we all then reveal, and I guarantee you every time there's going to be somebody who says, oh my gosh, or yes, which again is the drama and the excitement that we love for this. Now on top of all that, it's a gorgeous game. Apologies, this is one of my older run-throughs when I was still filming with my iPhone, so it's shaky and hard to see. But man, this game is just a hoot. It's a blast. We absolutely adore it. The worker placement is good. The growing of the pets. There's so many other things I could talk about here. But again, it's all pulled together every round by that simultaneous action selection that is just brilliant. That's why it's my number 5, Dungeon Petz. But we're not done yet. And that's interesting. Dungeon Petz is my top 10 games of all time. I'm going to talk about some other games that don't rate as highly just as games, but I think they're even better in terms of the excitement from the action selection. So let's talk about number 4, simultaneous action selection game, Dice Town. This is a very sweet, charming game. This is another gateway-ish style game. I've actually had great success with this at actual parties. I took it to a party once and was playing it with Mom and her husband and their son and me and Jen playing a big old 5-player game. Because here's the thing. This is a game where everybody has these poker dice and you're trying to roll dice to get good poker hands, but also to get majority. What happens is at the beginning of every round, everybody's got their 5 dice. They shake them up and slam them down in this cool little dice cup you've got. And then everybody looks, peeks, decide they're going to set aside 1 die. They take all but one of those dice back into their hand, and then they keep it under the cup. And this is the simultaneous action selection. Everybody's doing this at the same time, and then everybody reveals and shows what die they chose. Then they set that die aside, take the remaining dice, put them back in the cup, shake a, and go through it again. So every round, you are going to get potentially round after, mini round after mini round after mini round of, oh, okay, I see what you set aside. All right, I got my new thing. Now, which of these am I going to take? What am I going to keep aside? What am I going to do? Because we are competing for dominance in every single metric. I want to have the most 9s. I want to have the most 10s, the most jacks, queens, kings, and aces, if I recall correctly. I think so, yeah. I want to have the most of everything because whoever has the most 9s, I think, is the one who gets to get a lot of gold out of the gold mine. Whoever has the most queens, I think, gets control of the saloon and that actually lets you steal cards from other players. So you want to have majorities, and as you see your opponent setting aside, oh, he set aside a 9. He set aside another 9. Oh my God, another 9. You know what? I got to give up. I don't think I can go for 9s. He's going to beat me on 9s. I should really try to shift it up and do something else. Because you're also, as you're deciding which dice to set aside and then revealing and then setting aside and revealing over and over again, this multiple cycle of simultaneous action selection after selection after selection, you're also trying to build great poker hands because that's how you get into town hall, because whoever has the best poker hand, whether it's a full house or a pair or 3 of a kind or a straight or whatever, gets you first dibs on the big victory point parcels of land. So if I see, oh, you're going to win on 9s, aren't you? You saw I was going for it. I see you're going for it. I guess I should give up on 9s. You know what? I'll start setting aside, I'll set aside this 10, and maybe I'll go for a full house. And maybe I'll still have a chance of getting the most 10s as well. So it's a really, really sharp game, full of tension. Oh, and there's another wrinkle too. By default, everybody shakes, they look, they pick 1 to reveal. But if you want, you've got cash. You can spend that money to reveal multiples. Like if I've got oh my God, I've got a full house. This is really great. You know what? I'm going to spend cash and take all of them and reveal them all. And just like that, the simultaneous selection is over because it keeps going until everybody has chosen all their dice. Now, if everybody's choosing one at a time, each die will be chosen individually. But if somebody pays money to choose all theirs ahead of time, then everybody else just gets one more roll and has to take what they want. It's a hoot. Now, I will say the reason this doesn't rate as high for me as some games is because it's kind of meh as a two-player game. You definitely want to have 3 or more players to really get this. And if you get the expansion, even more players. Again, it's a fun party game where, because again, there's the loud tactile shake it, slam, and then pick it, ah. I guess there's a certain level of trust implicit with this game as well, because people could be messing with their dice while they're looking, so you just have to trust your fellow players. I guess maybe for some people that would be a weakness, but I mean, this game is just chock-a-block with simultaneous action selection. They're always fun. They're always exciting. It's a blast. It's number 4. Dice Town. But then let's go on to number 3, Roll for the Galaxy. And now I should say, this shares space. Number 3 is a tie between Roll for the Galaxy and Race for the Galaxy, because I could equally talk about either of these. Because up till now, every one of these simultaneous action selection games I've talked about, and they all do it in different ways to varying degrees of impact on the game and all that, but they are all about me trying to figure out what I'm going to do, figure out what you're going to try and do, and beat you at your game. Figure out what you're trying to do so that I can prevent you from doing it because I want to do it before you with an initiative thing, or I want to weaken what you're doing and stuff like that. The simultaneous action selection is implicitly kind of aggressive because I'm trying to outthink you to do better than you and slow you down in the process. The reason Race or Roll for the Galaxy beats all of those games, and you can pick it, whether you like dice or cards, that's really, you pick one or the other, is because we're still going to secretly select what we want to do. Whether we roll a bunch of dice and then select how we're going to assign those dice to different actions, or we have a handful of cards and we assign which action we're going to do by playing a card, which then lets us use our other cards to do different things. Both games are about building space empires, and the actions we're going to do every round are, whether we're spending our dice or our cards to do it, are to explore space or expand our empire or generate resources or convert those resources into victory points. And we're doing the same type of stuff. So whether question we do it with dice or cards. But here's the brilliant thing. We're all choosing in secret and revealing at the same time what action we want to do every round, because not to ruin it. I don't want to figure out what you're doing so I can beat you at it. I want to figure out what you're doing so that I will do something else, but I will piggyback off of what you do and get to do a slightly weaker version of that same action. That is brilliant. That is a game where all my thought is not bent on trying to figure out so I can ruin you or basically slow you down or just stay the heck away from you. Instead, all my thought is bent on getting into your mind and knowing what it is you're going to do so that I can benefit from what you're going to do. It's an implicitly positive interaction and connection between players here. That's why I love it so much. Even though this one doesn't have the simultaneous impact or selection, it isn't always impactful. Because, hey, sometimes even I can figure out exactly what you're going to do, and you're going to do something that I just don't care about. So I'm going to go do something else, and then it doesn't really matter if we did it simultaneously revealed. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, when I can get in your mindset and anticipate what it is you're going to do, and the same for you, anticipate what I'm going to do, and then that means I can get extra bonus actions on my turn, because, hey, I'll go off and do this other thing. It is so sweet, and I just love it because it's an example of positive connection and interaction between players instead of negative. It's why it's my number 3. It's a brilliant game. Now, I guess I can't get away without saying Roll or Race. I got to pick one or the other. For us, it's Roll. Actually, we loved Race for the Galaxy for a long time, but after we played Roll some, we got rid of Race just because we'll always play this more because we love the dice. But honestly, if putting aside my personal preference, I would say Race for the Galaxy is, I would almost go as far as say, objectively the better game, the sharper, more well-polished, well-implemented design. Although, getting back to it, I do say Roll for the Galaxy is the better for 2 players. The 2-player variant, I just like more. Although, I don't know, people would say that the 2-player variant for Race is better because it's deeper, it's richer, it gives you a lot more control. But I just like the simplicity of Roll, which is weird because almost everything else about Roll is much more complex. It's weird. They're both brilliant games. Chances are, if you like one, you'll like the other. But anyway, Neither one of them could have made my number 3, Race or Roll for the Galaxy. But now, let's move on to number 2, folks. Uwe Rosenberg's Glass Road. Oh my gosh. Now, this is back to cards, like all the original ones. This is an interesting game. Everybody starts the game with a deck of 15 cards. We're going to play, the game takes place over 4 years, if I recall correctly. And at the beginning of each year, everybody takes this hand of cards. And these cards represent different craftspeople that you could invite to your county. I could invite lumberjacks to help me generate lumber, or stonemasons, or carpenters, or seamstresses, or whatever. I mean, all these different types. We have access to the same exact 15 people. And before the year starts, of these 15 cards, each of us is going to simultaneously choose 5. This year, I'm going to invite these 5 craftspeople to our county because I need their help to build the buildings I want, to gather the resources I need to build those buildings, etc., etc. That's the core of the game. So we're doing that, but we don't all then just suddenly, hey, let's just now reveal what 5 cards we chose. So it's interesting. There's the simultaneous selection, but then there is turn-based reveal. Because now I've got all 5 of my cards, you got all 5 of your cards, and I am trying really, really hard as we're both figuring out, okay, I want to have cards that I know I'm going to need because I have certain things I need to do. I need to chop out this forest so I've got room to build a building I want or whatever. So I need that lumberjack to come. I know I need him to come. What I need to figure out though is, do you need him to come? Are you going to invite him as well? Because in an ideal world, when you're choosing these 5 cards, you want to, wherever possible, pick people who nobody else wants. If I'm the only one who wants the lumberjack to come this year, and I invite him, that means I took one of the cards, that means I'll get all of his attention. All of his work will be mine, and I'll have a very, very powerful lumberjack. But if I invite the lumberjack and I figure out you want the lumberjack as well, when he eventually comes and I play the card and say, lumberjack, come, do your stuff, that's when you say, oh, I'm so glad I figured out one of the lumberjack because I've got a lumberjack card here as well. I will, in response to, in response to me revealing that I invited lumberjack, and say, hey, I was going to invite him too. Hey, Lumby, why don't you come over to my place after you're done? And now you and I have to share that lumberjack and neither of us can get full power. But here's the thing. You benefited greatly because this was my turn. It was my choice to spend one of my very precious few actions to invite the lumberjack, and then you got to say, oh, I was going to invite him too. So you get him for free. You get half of his use for free. I had to pay for half of his use. If I could have been the only one with a lumberjack, I would have gotten all of his use. So the game has a very interesting balancing act. You want to do 2 things with the selection of 5 cards when we're simultaneous selection. You want to get the ones that are really important to you when nobody else wants them. And again, the game goes in ebbs and flows, so if you get into your opponent's mind space, you can figure out when they might not want that lumberjack because, oh, they've already got plenty of wood. They don't want him. Now's the time for me to do him because I'll get full use of him. But you also want to figure out what your opponents are doing and make sure you pick a couple of cards, not because you necessarily want them, but because you think, I'm going to want them. And you brought them along. Yeah, I could have done without the lumberjack, but hey, since I knew you were going to do it, I brought this card as well so that I could piggyback off of you. So it's this weird fusion of the earlier games, where it's kind of a first come first serve, but it's also this kind of what I just talked about in the last game, this kind of passive. Oh, I just want to piggyback off of what you're doing as well. It's really interesting. It's simultaneous action selection, but the reveal is not simultaneous because I'm going to reveal one of my cards and then you find out whether you get to piggyback off of me. But if I don't reveal that lumberjack, you might reveal the lumberjack. In this case, I could piggyback off of you and get him for free, which means I can focus on other cards. It's a brilliant game. And if all that wasn't cool enough, it also has this brilliant wheel system for tracking the use of goods and converting goods into other. It's brilliant. Everything about this game is amazing. It's one of Uwe Rosenberg's best. If I ever do a top 10, this is like probably top 3. Easily top 5. And a big, big reason for that is because of the brilliant and very, very, very unique implementation of simultaneous action selection and semi-simultaneous reveal. But that's it, folks. That was number 2. We're almost home. Let's go to number 1. Of course, It had to be Gloomhaven. Of course it did. It's my #1 game of all time. So, but this is not my #1 here because it's my #1 game of all time. It's for the reason it's my #1 game of all time is because it's also the best game in terms of its implementation of simultaneous action selection of any game ever. And I'll tell you why. Unlike the other 9 games I just talked about, this one is cooperative. Yeah, baby! Why are there not? There are almost no simultaneous action selection and reveal co-op games. There's a few of them. Gloomhaven is by far the best, but it is a wide open niche. Most co-op games follow the pandemic formula. Okay, I'll take my turn, you take your turn, I'll take your turn. We all strategize and whatnot. Gloomhaven says to heck with that. Now, this is a cooperative game. It's a dungeon crawl. We have our heroes, and we have a handful of cards to represent all the cool abilities we can do, and we're running around through a dungeon, working together, trying to coordinate our moves to take out an infinite amount of bad guys before we get KO'd. Standard stuff. But here's the thing. All of our actions are in our hand. They are our cards. Our deck of cards is our life. When we run out of cards, we are out. If everybody's out, we lose the dungeon. Every turn, we must play 2 cards from our hand, which is painful because, I think the most cards any character has, I think one character starts with 12 cards. You got to make it all the way through the dungeon with only 12 cards, and you're spending 2 of them every turn. Now, you do get opportunities to get some of your cards back, and you get to recycle them, and there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not talking about that right now. The important thing is every turn you play 2 cards. And each card has 4 different actions on it, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. I play these 2 cards. I have to choose in secret what I'm playing, because this is a simultaneous select in secret and then reveal. And when I reveal, from one of the cards, I will do one of the actions on the top, and from the other card, I'll do one of the actions from the bottom. So after I reveal, even though I might have chosen these cards in secret, because I want to do this top action and this bottom action. This is a run over and this is a bonk him on the head or whatever. And I think that'll be perfect. I'll take out that big boss skeleton or whatever if I play these. But here's the deal. Every one of these cards has a different an additional element, a number right in the middle that is the initiative. And when I am choosing which cards I'm playing, I'm also choosing which card I'm using for initiative. And those initiative range from 0 to 99. And here's the thing. We're playing cooperatively. I'm trying to tell you, hey, you know what? I'm going to play these 2 cards. I'm going to use it to run over and bonk that skeleton on the head. I'm sure I'm going to kill him. But here's the deal. I cannot tell you exactly what I'm playing with my cards. I cannot tell you the initiative value of my cards. I can only talk in general terms. I'm going to run over there and get him. I think I'm going to be in trouble after that. Do you think you could heal me because you're a cleric? And you look at your card and say, yeah, I think I could heal you. Okay, so I'm just going to stay back here, and I think I've got this heal. Where are you moving to? You're moving there? Okay, yeah, you'll be within range. I'm going to heal you because chances are these skeletons are pretty fast. Are you going to be able to get to that skeleton and kill him before he rushes? And here's the thing. It's all about the initiative. I've got my 2 cards. I've chosen them for their actions, but I've also chosen them for initiative. I chose one of them because, hey, I've got an initiative of, I've got a really fast card. I can't tell you what my initiative is going to be. It's going to be 8. I'm going to be incredibly fast, but I can't tell you. All I can tell you is, don't worry. I'm going to be the fastest thing you ever saw. Because again, we're simultaneously choosing what we're going to do, and we're choosing how fast we're going to do it, but we can't talk to each other about the specifics. And so, you and I have to coordinate. You know what? Ideally, after I run up there and I kill the guy and I'm going to be really fast, his buddies are going to swamp me and they're probably going to wipe me out. But after that's done, if right I don't die, that would be the perfect time for you to heal. So you should go really slow. Because we don't know how fast the skeletons are going to go. We don't know how fast each other is going to go. Because all of this planning, the planning for me, the planning for you, and the planning for the evil skeletons is all happening simultaneously because they've got their own deck that's shuffled up. I will reveal my cards, you will reveal your cards, the skeletons will reveal their cards, all at the same time, and that's when we find out, did our planning work? Oh my God, the skeletons are even faster! I thought my 8 would totally beat them, they had a 5! Okay, everything is messed up now. They're going to go first. They're going to charge us. You're closer. They're going to hit you. And you're going to be standing there. They're going to kill you right up front. And what are we going to do? And that's when, remember how I said all the cards have different uses on the top and the bottom? Because the plan is now changed, you might say, oh, I was going to use this top and this bottom. I got to switch it now. We're going to switch it to this top and this bottom or stuff like that. And you might have to change your plans. And it's all because all of our planning had to be done simultaneously in secret or quasi-secret. I can talk broadly about what I do, but I can't say specifics. Same for you, same for the bad guys, and then everybody simultaneously reveals, and every round it's like, oh, please let me go faster than you, or sometimes, oh, please let me go slower than you. And it's interesting, the longer you play this game, the more you get to know your fellow adventurers. Even though Jen can never tell me the exact speeds on her cards, because it all comes down to those initiatives. Am I going to be faster or slower than you? Am I going to be faster or slower than the bad guys? Will our plan work? She can never tell me exactly what initiative speed she's going to do, but I get a sense that I kind of know her. She says, you know what, I'm going to go slow for me. And I might know, oh, really slow for her because she's this particular class means she's probably going to be in the 40s because she's an incredibly fast character. And for her, 40 is really slow. Whereas for me, I'm a slow character. And for me, a 40, that's pretty speedy. And so I have to kind of parse what she says. Yeah, I'm going to go kind of slow. But I'm like, yeah, but you're a speedster. So that means you might still be going faster than my medium speed. So do I need to go faster than you because I've got to get over there and open that door? Because the plan is I'm going to open the door, then you're going to run in and surprise the bad guys with your flash bomb or whatever it might be. But this will only work if I go faster than you. But all you can say is, yeah, look, I'm going to try and go slow. I'm going to go kind of slow. That's all I can say. And then I've got to figure that out. Right, okay, if I play this is my fastest card, but I could play this medium card that's probably still faster than her. And so all of the same stuff that happens in every one of the other games I've talked about, me trying to get into your head and figure out what it is exactly you mean when you say these things, because you can't come around and say, there are specific rules that prevent us from being able to say exactly what we're going to do. It's all the fun of simultaneous action reveal, except we're working together. It's all about trying to beat these external guys who have their own initiative, their own secrets, and their own get to know me and understand what I'm likely to do. It's brilliant. I mean, Gloomhaven is my favorite game of all time. It's the #1 highest ranked game on Board Game Geek with good reason. I think one of the many, many cornerstones to its success and its brilliant design is the fact that everything is driven by simultaneous action selection. And that's it, folks. There's a quick countdown of my 10 faves. If you have any questions, anything I missed, by all means, let me know. As always, I will do a follow-up with this in my next podcast, which I'll be recording sometime in the next few days. And if you have any ones that you think I missed, I'll definitely discuss it there. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, wait a minute. I mean, there's a lot of really popular games that do this. What about silent auctions? That's simultaneous action selection, right? What about games along those lines, et cetera, et cetera? Well, we'll revisit it in the podcast. But otherwise, folks, I'm going to say thanks very much for watching. Have a very, very nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.